Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults,
And beer.
and Goons.
And goons.
And as you can see, History Goon is once again with us to tell us a insanely horrible and disgusting story.
Yeah. One of these days, I'm going to bring, history instead of a horror show.
Well,
uh,
I mean, it is history. It happened in the past.
That's true. It's definitely out of my current wheelhouse, where
Right.
previously on my old show, I basically did exclusively the true crime stuff for the old show. And then I was like, you know what? After I had my kid, I'm like, I don't have the stomach to read about as much of the gnarly shit that I used to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, switch over to something else I like and talk about fun stuff. Except for last night when I recorded one about a couple of Nazi female prison guards who were pretty not great. Pretty
Ka-ching.
not great. Yeah.
So, but by the way, before we get started, I mean, you're not going to believe this, but you have a twin in Florida.
I do?
Yeah, and it's a woman.
Oh, well, that's great, I guess.
It's a woman. I saw her at a grocery store. She was a cashier. And I'm like, that looks just like History Goon minus the beard.
I'll say she's probably got a nicer mustache than me, though.
But I don't think that she would have let me take her picture.
Stand still, you look like my friend.
Why do you want to take a picture? Because you look like a guy.
You look like I know, and she would have just punched you in the face.
Yeah. And then we'd be doing this. My nose would be off to the side.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Crimes, Killers, Cults, and Beer.
Two black eyes, one of your temple pieces for your glasses is missing.
And the lens from the other one is sticking out of my eye.
Looked like he got into a Looney Tunes car accident.
Yeah. Or I got tangled up with a serial killer.
Yeah. Almost.
Almost. So, okay, I guess. By the way, Kevin is here again because it's been almost 6 months since Sandra has done an episode with me. So and schedules have changed, so it's kind of hard to get those all, firing on the same cylinders and everything. She's coming back. She's not going bye-bye. She's just making you wait. As they say in the ketchup commercial, good things come to those who wait. So,
With the old glass bottles.
yeah, Heinz 57. I'm sure that she would really appreciate being compared to a ketchup bottle.
Funny story. I guess when my parents first started dating before I was born, my dad took my mom out to a restaurant here in town, and she's trying to put ketchup on a cheeseburger. And, of course, this is the, mid-'80s, so it's all glass bottles, and she is got the bottle upend, and she's shaking it, trying to get it on there. And she came back real fast at one point and launched ketchup out of it behind her and hit a Catholic priest in the chest with it.
Nice.
So she had to, and it was like the priest that she saw every Sunday at Mass, so she had to go apologize, and I was I'm pretty sure he was probably fairly cool about it, whatever.
Well, he would have to be because, forgiveness and all, they're kind of...
if he turned the other cheek, it would have hit that one instead, I guess, so.
Of course, he could have played it off like one of those rattlesnake people. I just got shot.
At least it didn't hit him in the hands or something. Be like, look, check it out.
Anyway, I guess everybody that's listening read the title, so they already know what's coming. But
Yep.
just in case we have any blind listeners, tell them what's coming.
Man, we got 3 names, so you know what that means.
Oh God.
Anytime we got a guy with 3 names on a true crime podcast, it's probably going to be a serial killer. At least in my personal experience, it is. Tonight we have Gary Michael Heidnik, which is just a gross name. He's a gross person. If you've ever seen pictures of this guy, if you looked up either serial killer or pedophile in the dictionary, he would there's a pretty good chance you'd see his picture for either one of them.
Right.
Not as bad as what the hell's his name? Nathaniel Bar-Jonah, where if you Googled pedophile, he's the first picture that's going to come up, because he is like, if you put one in a TV show, like that's what that dude looked like, and he was a monster. If you have you covered him yet?
No.
Oh God. Horrible person. I highly recommend it not doing it. So, Gary Heidnik burst forth from his alcoholic mother's nethers November 22nd, 1943 in Eastlake, Ohio. When I say alcoholic, I mean after her second son Terry was born, her husband had seen enough, and between her being physically and emotionally abusive to him and the kids, he files for divorce and takes off. Unfortunately, he did not take the boys with him, even though she's clearly unstable and probably not a fit parent.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's cool to desert your kids, but he was probably thinking that if he tried to take him with, the kids with him, she would be haunting his ass for the rest of his life. And, she didn't want that. I mean, I'm thinking like Henry Lee Lucas's mother or something like that,
Yeah, woman like that, you got to take the kids and move to like a different continent, basically.
Yeah, a different planet.
When Mother Ellen remarried, between her and the new husband, they decided that they didn't want the kids, and they sent them to live with Michael, who's the father, and his new wife.
But the damage was already done.
Well, damage is going to continue.
Lovely.
Things didn't get much better for Gary, because when he wasn't being neglected by his mother, or being flat out ignored by his stepmother, and beaten by his father, for pretty much any infraction. So it's not a, like, if you were going to build serial killer soup, this is definitely an ingredient in it.
Yeah, that's a protein ingredient too.
Yeah, that's a core ingredient. Like, you have to have it. Like, I'm making corn chowder without the corn. What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
So Gary told some stories about, wetting the bed as a kid, which totally normal, especially if you're in a high-stress situation as a kid. What's not normal is
it's also part of the McDonald's triad.
Yes. Yep. And then what's the other one? Like fire and...
arson and cruelty to animals.
Yeah. And then there's like a fourth one that's interchangeable with those, but I don't remember what it was.
Right. I can't either.
And we're not going to do an ADD break to find out.
No, we're not. This has got to be one episode.
Yes. So what's not normal is every time he would do this, his dad would beat him and then hang the stained sheets out of his bedroom window for the entire neighborhood to see.
Nice guy.
Yeah. The embarrassment wasn't as bad. Wasn't all that
Although
bad.
if they were Catholic, then they might have thought that he had just he had just consummated his bed. I'll be here all night.
So the embarrassment was nothing compared to what he felt on more than one occasion, where Michael would just snatch him up and hang him out the window instead, by the ankles, as a warning.
Oh, like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, except like this kid's pissed himself, and you'd like hold him upside down, like shaking him out like Suge Knight did to Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice. Hey, honey, I do believe it. It's raining a little bit.
It smells like piss in here. We walked by R. Kelly's house or something. I always thought that the Vanilla Ice story was fake until I heard him tell it. And he's like, "Oh no!" He grabbed me by the feet and held me over the balcony and shook my pockets out. It's like, son of a bitch, dude. But I mean, Suge Knight was huge. He was like 6'8", so
yeah, and weighed about 350 pounds.
Yeah, he was a big dude.
Yeah.
So as you would guess, he didn't have a great time in school.
No.
Considering the kids he went to school with often saw his pissy sheets flying outside the house like a flag. So yeah, he got picked on pretty badly. And his dad's bullying didn't stop at home. He would often paint bullseyes on like the butt part of his pants so that when he went to school, he had a target for people to kick him. He also picked up a pretty excellent head injury, which left him with a quote-unquote misshapen head, which earned him the nickname of Football Head.
So Stewie Griffin.
Yeah, I went with either Stewie Griffin or Hey Arnold.
Yeah, that too.
to date myself. So even with the brain damage, he sported an IQ that fluctuated between about 130 and 148, depending on sources. So he was a fairly smart kid, but he also had a couple of dreams as a kid. He wanted to become incredibly wealthy, and he also wanted to go into the military, which one of those does not lead to the other,
No.
generally.
Usually not.
Unless you're one of the 97 Navy SEALs that shot Osama bin Laden that you could write a book about.
Sure.
I shot him. Yeah, so did I. Fucking everybody did. I'm pretty sure the helicopter pilot got out and shot him twice, just to make sure. At 14, he entered the Staunton Military Academy in Virginia, but 2 years later, he would leave the school and return back home to his father. After trying school a couple more times, he decided that there was nothing more for him, and he dropped out at 18 and joined the Army, which generally, most people, depending on your birthday, like what time of year you're born, you've already graduated from high school at 18 or before. I got a late start because mine's in August, so I was like almost 19 when I graduated, but that's just how that worked, and I also stayed back in 7th grade, but whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Here I am, doing a podcast.
Hell yeah.
My guidance counselor said I wouldn't amount to anything. I showed her.
Yeah, you became a mediocre podcaster.
Right, it even says it right in my thing, right down there on the screen. He wasn't the most popular guy in basic training by most accounts. He did actually make a handful of friends, but not too many. After basic, he shipped off to San Antonio, Texas for AIT, which is Advanced Infantry Training, which is like your secondary after boot camp.
Hold on a second. Did he have a car?
Later on, he does, yes.
But not when he was in basic or his first deployment to a military post?
I don't know. I didn't see anything.
Because you know, when you live in a military town, soldiers always go out in fours. The one guy with the car and the other three that are pretending to be his friend because he has the car.
Yep. And it's usually like a 2 or 3 year old Camaro that he's paying like 27% interest on.
Yeah.
I work with a dude that was in the Army for like 8 years. And one of his buddies, they were in Georgia. One of his buddies went out and bought a Ford F-150. It was all lifted up with like giant wheels and stuff on it. This guy was paying $1,200 a month for his truck.
Damn.
Like, dude, that's insane. You have to be out of your mind. I'm like, the only thing he didn't do was marry a stripper at that point. You know, like he had so many other check marks. It's just that one he missed, I guess.
Yeah, I married a stripper.
But you weren't in the Army.
No, I was in a heavy metal band.
That's different. That's way different. That makes sense. Because it's like the two things are like, there's a lot of crossover there, you know?
Yeah, true.
So now he's in the Army. He wants to start his second half of his dream by making some money. He starts loan sharking to his fellow troops, offering loans at a pretty high interest. In August of 1962, he was
How did he
stationed...
collect on these?
I don't. It didn't. I couldn't find anything that said, because I mean, he wasn't a real big guy, so he wasn't going out and, like, beating people up and getting it back. He's very manipulative, though. We'll find that out as we go. So 1960...
Where's my money? Where's my money?
Don't make me make you look at my goofy shaped head, because I will. They owe him money, and they just wake up and he's just like at the end of the bed, just like from here up, like from like the bridge of his nose up, just staring at him over their feet.
Heidnik was here.
Like a sleep paralysis demon. You're like, ah,
like a football head shaped Kilroy.
Oh, I love that. So 1962, he's stationed at a field hospital in West Germany. And he went to his superior in the hospital complaining of nausea, dizziness, and blurred vision. He underwent a battery of testing, and they found a couple of causes for this. He had the stomach flu, which would be your nausea and possibly some of your dizziness. And like a small, not a little bit more than you probably want, schizoid personality disorder.
Uh-oh.
Just a touch, you know. So after finding all of this, he was discharged and shipped home. And when he arrived back in the States, he enrolled at the University of Pennsylvania. And if you're not familiar, I don't know if it worked this way back in the 60s, but nowadays, if you get into the military and then they find out they have something, there's like something profoundly wrong with you, they have to pay you for that now because the military gave it to you.
Okay.
So, like, if you go in and you have asthma, but you tell them, like, oh, no, I don't have asthma, and then 2 years into your stretch, they find out you have asthma, they gave you asthma. So it's service-related.
Okay, I'm going to go join the Army right now. I'm going to tell them I'm 22 years old. And then, after day 2 of boot camp, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I woke up and I'm whatever, the age that I am now, 37.
I aged overnight. This is wild.
Yeah.
So he signs up for chemistry.
I'm not
history.
37.
I'm not 37. That was last year.
It was a lot longer ago for me.
You're what, like 41, 42?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Go there. So he enrolls at the University of Pennsylvania. He signs up for chemistry, history, anthropology, and biology courses. While he's in school, he worked at 2 different hospitals in Philadelphia, where he was, by all accounts, an absolutely horrible employee, and was canned by both institutions that he worked for. As someone who works kind of in the healthcare field, I can tell you, it's pretty hard to fire people. Unfortunately, because, oh boy, if it wouldn't violate HIPAA, I got some stories for you, man. With no work, he's now living on his Army pension, and his weirdness starts to really shine through. He decides to stop showering, then decides to buy a leather jacket, and he's going to wear that no matter what the weather or the social occasion is. He's wearing this leather jacket because, like, it's his personality now.
Damn.
Over the course of a few years, there was also well over a dozen suicide attempts between Gary, his brother, and his mother. In 1970, Mother Ellen was successful after her 4th marriage fell apart due to her drinking. She then drank a cup, 8 ounces of liquid mercury.
Oh.
That just so happened to do the job.
You think?
Yeah. This is the second time in 2 days that I've talked about somebody drinking something that killed themselves. Because one of the Nazi women that I talked about on my episode I recorded that I have to edit still, her mother drank a 16-ounce glass of hydrochloric acid.
Oh.
So, yeah, pretty cool. After she died, both Gary and his brother attempted suicide, and both ended up spending time in and out of mental institutions for their trouble.
They probably watched their mother going out with a belly full of mercury.
Yeah, and they're like, man, that's the way to do it. I mean,
no, they're probably scarred them. They were like, oh my God, I can't take this.
Well, I mean, they had both attempted it at least a couple of times before their mother did.
Okay,
so,
well, I take it back then.
You know, just to prove, so before we kind of get there, just to prove how smart he was, during his time in and out of these institutions, he starts to amass some money. In 1971, he founded the United Church of Ministries of God, and titled himself bishop, which, if you're the head of the church, you could probably, maybe give yourself a little bit higher of a rank than bishop, but I mean, it worked. It worked pretty well for Gaddafi, where he just called himself Colonel or whatever for a while, instead of Field Marshal or General or something like that.
It worked for Mr. Sanders too.
That's true. His was honorific though.
Right.
He was a Tennessee Colonel. He wasn't even.
He made some good chicken.
He sure did.
So like here's a Colonel, and that's when he decided to add corn to most of the meals.
Yes.
Don't stop listening, please.
He was Colonel Sanders, K-E-R, Colonel Sanders. So among his followers that numbered in the fours, he's got quite the following here. And this included, I'm not sure how we feel about this word, but this is how they used it. Because back in the 70s, this is just how they used the word, quote, his mentally retarded girlfriend and his brother. As the leader of this little upstart cult, he was taking all the money that was given to him by his followers, and he was investing like crazy. He's buying up rental properties. He's playing the stock market. He made a fortune, like multiple zeros with commas in it, when Playboy stocks went public in 1971.
Oh, it was Playboy, huh?
Yep. Yeah, he invested a lot of money into Hugh Hefner's smoking jackets and STD tests. And when they started being traded publicly, he made a ton of money. And the whole time all this is going on, everything behind the scenes is starting to fall apart. In 1976, he had a disagreement with one of the tenants of the properties that he owned. They get into a little bit of a yelling match. They start arguing. He leaves and returns shortly with an unregistered handgun and shot the tenant in the face. In 1978, he would do his first stint in prison, and it was not for shooting somebody. It was worse than that.
If you shoot your tenant, you're not going to get any money out of him.
Right.
Ever. And you might even go to jail for it.
So he did a stint in prison after this, but it wasn't for shooting the guy. It was for something much worse. Want to take a guess what he did?
Let's see.
We'll play hot or cold for a second.
I should know this because Murder Coaster. You're welcome. Covered them recently. No, I thought I was saying you're welcome to Murder Coaster for the free plug.
Right.
But I should know this, but I don't because I've written a couple episodes since. I
get that. Yeah.
But yeah, my brain's only so big. But oh God, what did he? I don't know. It's
so not good.
He didn't pay the pizza guy. I don't know.
Oh, so cold. So Gary signed his girlfriend's sister out of the mental institution that she was in and took her back home to his house,
where he nurtured her and got her feeling healthy and all nice and like all right in the head, and he was just really nice and gentle to her and everything, and she lived a very productive life.
Yeah, this is a good episode, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, he locked her in the basement and raped her repeatedly over the course of a few weeks, which would result in him giving her gonorrhea.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I was way off on that one.
That poor pizza guy didn't deserve any of that.
No.
He would, of course, be found guilty of everything he was charged with, which would be kidnapping, unlawful restraint, false imprisonment, rape, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, and interference with the custody of a committed person. And he was sentenced to 3 to 7 years. Yeah, right? Yeah. Get out of here, you rascal. So yeah, 3 to 7 years, that's it. And during his time in prison, Gary waved a guard to his cell and handed him a note, and the note said, quote, this is fucking wild. Quote, Satan has shoved a cookie down my throat. I cannot speak. and he remained silent for 27 months. He didn't say a word for 2 years and change to anybody.
I would make sure he had cookies in that cell every damn day. Have a guy dressed up in a red outfit with horns and a tail and everything.
Jabbing him in the ass through the bars with a pitchfork.
Here's your cookies.
Eat your cookie, eat your cookie, weirdo.
Keep your damn mouth shut. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say.
April of 1983, he was released and returned to Philadelphia and retook the reins of his happy little cult. The numbers.
They waited for him?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I believe his girlfriend took over while he was in prison. The numbers hadn't risen much, and most
sounds
of
like
the
Warren
members,
Jeffs.
Yeah. Except most of the new members of his cult were also mentally handicapped women that were friends of his girlfriend or the girlfriend's sister, because these people are all in and out of institutions pretty regularly between him and his followers.
I have a very important question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Does this episode get the cult outro? No, because that's not really a prominent. That's not the main focus of what he did.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And the cult doesn't last too much longer.
Oh, okay.
So, being the special kind of monster that Gary Heidnik was, he took advantage of all of these women and impregnated them. Every single one of them. After he got tired of knocking up mentally handicapped women, in 1985, he heard wedding bells. Not just any wedding bells, mail order wedding bells. So he's been writing back and forth with a woman named Betty Disto for a couple years, starting when he was still in prison. And eventually she flew from the Philippines to Philadelphia, and they got engaged over the phone. She arrived in September, and they were married in October and divorced by January.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I get these ads on Facebook for, like Ukrainian women and stuff like that. The Ukrainian women need the love and protection of a Western man. Most Ukrainian women could whip a lot of men over here's asses, but it's like you go. It's just a freaking ad, and I click on every one I see, not because I have any designs on a Ukrainian, a 20-something-year-old Ukrainian bride, but because I want to read the guy. These guys think that they're actually talking to a person.
Man,
like,
so
hi,
sad.
you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so lovely. I wish I could I wish I could meet you. And blah blah blah. And whenever I come, am I a dickhead for doing this? Whenever I see people talking like that, I just type one sentence. I say, "You guys are hitting on an ad."
The comments on those are wild. Oh my God, they're so weird. No, but like now that we've given Venezuela our special kind of freedom, now the imports can start.
Now it's going to be Venezuelan women watching.
Hey, I mean,
all the incels are like, oh, Venezuela's open for business.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we need mass importation. Just saying. These are family-focused women, Bill, and I'm interested.
All you gotta do is look in your past, man. Look in your past. She's there.
No, that's that.
It doesn't work for everybody. I'm one in a million. I'm one in a million.
yeah, you were one of the lucky ones. So she filed for divorce because she got tired of finding Gary in bed with other women. And it wasn't like she just kind of wandered in and caught him cheating. He made her watch while he was cheating on her. Like, had the chair in the corner of the room and everything. Made her watch while he cheated on her.
It's America, baby. This is what all Americans do.
That's what the French do. So not only that, he also had a tendency to beat the absolute crap out of her on a pretty regular basis, like weekly. Beat her up pretty good.
It's America, baby. That's what all the Americans do.
Do we want to piss off some people down south? That's what Alabama does.
History Goon on Spotify or Apple.
Right? No, I'm kidding. I actually have family in Alabama, so it's all in fun. And besides, we have to have fun and make some jokes here because the rest of this is going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, I am familiar with this story.
So she took off in the beginning of January of '86 with the help of the local Filipino community. What's that?
Good for her.
Yes. And I didn't realize, so like Philadelphia apparently has a huge Filipino community, and they helped her. They basically like underground railroaded her away from him. When she first showed up to one of these other people, she's beaten, she's pregnant, but she's now free. And they got her to God only knows where. And that's because, don't really know, because that, as far as I could find, that's just kind of where she vanishes from history.
It's like the witness protection program, kind of.
Yep. So, now that his wife is out of the way, his first abduction came November 26, 1986.
This is much less expensive than mail order brides.
Yeah, right. Little over a month after the Mets won the World Series and beat the Red Sox in Game 7, he picks up Josefina Rivera, who is a local prostitute. He opens the passenger side door of his, I swear to God, Cadillac Coupe de Ville, and took her to McDonald's for coffee before taking her back to his place at 3520 North Marshall Street. Which, I mean, that's... What a nice guy. He took her out to a very, like, a high-quality restaurant for a date.
Yeah, and this was when it was just black coffee with creamer, and this was long before they went all artsy with their coffee.
Yeah. They didn't even have to put the hot labels on there yet because you were ordering a coffee and you kind of figured it was going to be hot, you know?
Yeah. If the coffee had been cold, she would have bitched about that.
Women. I'm kidding. You guys will complain about a lot, though.
History Goon.
I actually do have a lot of female listeners, and they'll probably find that kind of funny.
Well, no, they won't, because you never plug the episodes that you're on.
I do, actually.
Oh.
Well, not the Nazi episode, thankfully. The one I recorded before that last night, I plugged, and I said, by the time you hear this, you'll have heard me on at least 3 episodes of Crimes, Killers, Cults, and Beer. So, or maybe not. Who knows? Because this will probably come out before that.
Yeah, this will come out either this weekend or the following weekend.
Yeah, that one's like beginning of March at this point. So.
Oh yeah.
So they get back to his place at 3520 North Marshall Avenue. The door opens to his house, and she noticed something strange. Some weird stuff out of place.
A bottle cap collection.
Oh, you're very close.
Really?
Thousands of pennies have been glued to the wall of the kitchen.
You know, that's a very expensive way to cover your wall.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know if this guy has the same flavor of autism that I do, but if the heads weren't all, like, up, it would have driven me fucking crazy. And I would have found the 2 or 3 that weren't.
Oh, so you're one of these guys, like, if your older brother was a guitar player, you'd turn all the pegs the same direction?
No, but, like, if things are intentionally out of order like that, it makes me irrationally angry. Like, if somebody hands you a wad of cash and it's, like, you have... one's facing the wrong direction. Oh, I get real mad about that.
Although I've been to several bars over the years that have like nickels, pennies, and stuff like that, and then lacquer over it for the bar. That looks pretty cool. But I couldn't see doing your wall like that or your floor like that.
But we're also don't have schizoid personality disorder, as far as I know.
As far as we know.
I'm not going to a doctor.
That wasn't my choice.
The hallway to the bedroom that they were headed up to was also wallpapered with $5 bills. So
There's less expensive wallpaper that you can get.
you could have done once, man. Like,
Still, there's less expensive wallpaper.
very
than
true.
that.
Like, the amount of money that you glued to the walls would have covered your wallpaper and, like, probably some nice tile work for the floor.
Or you could wallpaper your house and everybody else's house for on the street.
Yeah, I mean, this is the 80s when money was
Right.
actually still real. My parents bought their house in 1985 for $82,000. Like, baby boomers.
I'm not a baby boomer, by the way.
I'm not either, but they kind of ruined the economy for people and are closer to our age bracket.
That's why my generation is the way we are.
Yep.
I'm a card-carrying, proud Gen Xer.
I am a millennial, but I'm an elder millennial, which means I'm actually closer to the Gen X guys than the the people that are 5 years younger than me that complain about everything.
But you're on a podcast.
That's true.
That's part of complaining. Is part of it goes with the territory.
Oh man, you should have. Oh, I might have to leave it in. I went on a big one last night, just complaining about like, hey, this is how much work I put into this show. This is how much time I put into writing episodes and researching and editing and recording. And then some asshole millionaire that has nothing better to do can just sit behind a microphone and he'll get way more listens than I will because he's already famous.
Yeah.
They came in through his garage and she was shocked to see a Rolls Royce parked there, which is pretty odd considering the neighborhood he was in was just crawling with like crack dealers and homeless people and, the less desirable folks of the area. And Weirdo just has a Rolls Royce in the garage.
Well, if he spent all his money on his wallpaper and his car.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I mean,
also, because this is the 80s, they walk into the bedroom and he shows her to the waterbed.
I had one.
So did I. I think that's probably why I don't get seasick, because I slept on a waterbed for like 5 years.
Yeah, that's about how long I had mine, too.
Yeah. And then my brother put a Matchbox car between the... we were playing cars on the thing, and it went between the sack or whatever it is and the frame and ruptured and flooded the bedroom and the basement.
Lovely.
Which made my dad pretty happy,
I bet.
So he's got the waterbed, a dresser, and 2 chairs. And Gary placed the agreed-upon $20 bill on the dresser and got naked.
Ew.
Yeah. They did the deed, and Josephina started feeling a little uncomfortable because, again, guy's a complete weirdo.
Smells bad.
What's that?
Smells bad.
Oh, God, yes. No showering, and then a smelly leather jacket.
We've covered a couple smelly people. Kendall Francois, for one. Anthony Soule. I'm sure Willie Picton.
Oh, God. Well, he might have been the smelliest of all of them, though.
Yeah.
I've got a guy on my list that had a very unique odor to him also. It was sour milk. But the older I get, the more I kind of see where he was coming from when he wrote his manifesto,
Great.
Yeah.
Tonight on CKCB, we're covering massive prolific serial killer Kevin Carlton.
No, Ted Kaczynski. Technology is evil. You're absolutely right, Ted. Now that we're in it. Mm-hmm.
He was a prophet.
Yeah, a smelly like forest wizard. So she tries to leave, and Gary sprang toward her and choked her until she blacked out. She wasn't out all that long, but Gary was pretty quick with the handcuffs, and then he drags her to the basement and threw her on a filthy old stained mattress and shackled her to the floor by her ankles. She noticed that there is a large chunk of concrete missing from the floor, And she sat there watching as Gary started digging in the pit. And he started talking to her, and he told her that he had 4 kids with 4 different women, but he had zero contact with any of them. And he told her that, quote, society owes me a wife and a big family, and I want to get 10 women and keep them here to get them all pregnant. Then, when they have babies, I want to raise those children here too. We'll be one big happy family. There's that schizophrenia kicking in. Unpack that.
That doesn't sound like a very happy scenario to me.
No. Especially if it starts with de-ringing them to the floor to start this.
Yeah.
You know. So after all of this, he decides that now is probably a good time for a little coffee break, go get something to eat, sexually assault this woman again.
Damn.
So after Gary finishes up, he goes back upstairs. She was left alone for the next day or so. At one point in time, she actually tried to escape. She pried open the nearest basement window and crawled out as far as the chain would allow her and screamed for help at the top of her lungs. Unfortunately, screams like that in that neighborhood were not uncommon, and even more unfortunately, Gary is the only one that heard her screaming. So he
like
comes
Ariel
running.
Castro vibes here.
Yes.
Well, I guess you could say Ariel Castro has Gary Heidnik vibes.
Yeah. There was another guy that also maybe had these same kind of vibes in a movie that we'll get to. So Gary came running back down the stairs and grabbed the chain that's hooked to her ankle and yanked her back in. And when she came back in through the window, she landed like chest and face first on the concrete floor.
I was just picturing that. That's the only way it could. Damn.
Like a horror movie landing, you know?
It's like, oh yeah, I'm happy.
Now that she'd attempted an escape, he has revoked her disgusting mattress privileges. So now she gets to sleep on the floor. Well,
probably
not
cleaner.
Right? Not necessarily the floor. He dragged her over to the shallow pit in the floor and threw her in there and then covered it with a sheet of plywood and then put a bunch of those old, like the old weights that came in the, like a weightlifting kit.
Yeah.
I don't know. You remember the old ones that were like plastic encased concrete, basically?
Mm-hmm.
He put a bunch of those over top of it so she couldn't get out.
Still probably cleaner than that mattress.
Oh, I guarantee it. Yeah. 3 days after she was kidnapped, Gary would snatch another girl, this time a mentally handicapped girl named Sandra Lindsay, is dragged down the stairs into his basement. From what Josephina said, this girl seemed like she had no clue what was going on. Gary forced her to write a pretty short letter to her mom. It says, quote, "Dear Mom, don't worry, I'll call you." And this was the last time that her mother would hear from her. Josephina and Sandra spent weeks together in the basement, sometimes in the pit, sometimes chained to pipes in the basement. The only consistents were that the basement was cold and the beatings and sexual assaults were basically never ending. December 22nd, Gary decides to go out and get himself an early Christmas present when he finds 19-year-old Lisa Thomas, who he referred to as, quote, wife number 3. He lured her into the house with promises of food, clothing, and a trip to Atlantic City, which, an exotic destination, Atlantic City, when you're in Philadelphia. It's like an hour and 20 minutes from there.
Well, it's better than...
The basement?
Yeah.
Very true. He brought her food and a glass of wine, and when she woke up from her spiked drink, she was in the basement and sore. Put it that way. New Year's Day, 1987, he snatches 23-year-old Deborah... I tongue-twisted my name on this one. Deborah Dudley. And this girl, she was feisty, which is nice in stories like this. Every opportunity that she got, she was fighting him. he would come down and beat her, and while he was beating on her, she was beating on him.
Good on
So
her.
she gave it back to him. The problem here was that when she would fight back, he would take it out on the other women.
Well, yeah, he's too much of a freaking coward and a pussy to actually do it himself. So it's just like, okay, well, if I can't control her, these other women will.
Oh, no. Like if she got out of hand, he would beat the other two also.
Right. They're gonna get pissed off at her for for getting them beat up.
Yep.
So they're gonna, he's pitting them against each other. It's a power move is all
Yep.
it is.
And at this point in time, the women start kind of ratting on each other to Gary. And Josephina sees an opportunity to gain Gary's trust. And anything they're saying, she's giving him back as information.
Survival mode.
Yep. It's like fake Stockholm syndrome, kind of. January 18th, 18-year-old Jacqueline Askins joins the ranks. Gary sexually assaulted her, shackled her to something in the basement, and then went back upstairs. He returned with bags of Chinese food and a bottle of champagne. This was weird after them having nothing but weeks of like water, stale hot dog buns, and stuff like that for food. But this was a special occasion because it was Josephina's birthday. So
does he have a type, or are these just random?
Kind of all over the place. When it comes to like race, build, anything like that, he's just opportunistic. It seems like. So this was one. This was the Chinese food and the special treatment was a one-time deal, and things are about to get a lot worse for these girls. Sandra got caught trying to remove the plywood cover from the pit. Gary strung her up from the ceiling beam by one wrist. She then went on a hunger strike, and after a few days, she was so weak that she couldn't eat. So Gary forced food down her throat, and then she would vomit it back up.
Which he probably took personally.
Yeah, and depending on the source you're looking at, sometimes they said he would make her then eat it or not. But February 7th, Sandra loses consciousness. Gary uncuffs her, and she collapses to the cement. He then rolled her into the pit and told the other girls that she was probably faking it. And within a couple of minutes, she was actually dead.
Yeah, she's faking it.
Yeah, and then.
Yeah, she's going to start breathing again any minute.
Yep.
But it's been 10. She's faking. She's really good at. She's a sneaky little one.
Yeah, she's pretty good at holding her breath. I'll give her that.
Yeah, I mean, if I could trust her, maybe I would let her get a job to support me as a scuba instructor.
Yeah, free diving.
Yeah.
So he carried her lifeless body upstairs, and a few minutes later, according to Josephina, the sound of a power saw rang out through the upper floors of the house.
That's not good.
Josephina later said that. She later said that that day one of Gary's dogs came into the basement with a bone of some sort covered in meat and proceeded to eat all of it, and then go back upstairs.
Do you think that Gary sent the dog down intentionally?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, the intimidation tactic kind of thing. And after this, the house starts to stink because Gary was having issues disposing of the body. He ran as much of it as he could through a food processor and fed it to the dogs and the women in the basement. Sandra's severed head sat in a pot of boiling water for days.
So we've got Ed Gein. We've got the Donner Party.
Mm-hmm.
We've got British guy who got caught because he was flushing his victims down the toilet.
The one I went to there was a German guy. I can't remember his name though.
I'm pretty sure it was a British guy.
There was two of them. There was
Oh, okay.
yeah. Damn it, what was his name? Was it Joachim Kroll? Maybe.
Well, that's the German one.
Yeah.
British serial killer flushes body parts down the toilet. Dennis Nielsen.
Yes. I was going to say the guy that David Tennant played in the movie because he looks exactly like him.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that movie.
So, yeah.
But if David Tennant's in it, it's got to be good because that guy is an amazing actor.
I love David Tennant. Like,
yeah.
My absolute, and I will get shit for this, but I will defend it to the death. My absolute favorite Doctor Who was David Tennant.
Oh, same here.
Yep.
You're not going to get any shit from me on that.
Baker wasn't bad, but David Tennant was my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
So aside from her head being in a pot of boiling water, he also broiled her rib cage in the oven. The smell is so bad at this point that nearby homeowners called the cops. They showed up to Gary's house and they told him that he told them he had accidentally cooked spoiled meat. And of course it's the 80s, so they're like, we're not going to do cop stuff. See ya. We've got a small Filipino boy to return to somebody in Milwaukee. We'll be right back.
Oh, man.
And the wild part was that those guys got like giant promotions after that too.
After not bringing him in because of the severed heads?
No. The guys that returned that like 10-year-old to Jeffrey Dahmer that got away.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's like, "He's my boyfriend," and they're like, "Ugh, gays." And they took off because they're like, "Ugh."
Oh yeah, there's Jeffrey Dahmer in this. There's Anthony Soule. I mean, this guy's a mishmash of everybody.
When we get to the end, you're gonna go, "Oh yeah, yeah." Now he steps the torture up to another level. He starts to take out the fact that he was almost caught on the rest of these women. Oh, God. At one point in time, he jammed a screwdriver into one of the women's ears because he thought that, quote, a deaf wife is easier to control. He also cut some wire for the basement. Cut wire from the basement, stripped the rubber insulation back, and then used it to shock the girls in the pit that he had filled with water. You know, just for a laugh. Josephina at this point becomes a little bit more of an accomplice than a victim. On March 18th, she was pulled aside by Gary and he explained a plan that he's got where he's going to need her help. So now is when they flood the pit in the basement and they force the other girls into it. He covers the pit with the plywood and weights and drilled a hole in the top of the plywood and had Josephina push the exposed wire down into the water. Then she would pick it back up out of the water and keep doing it here and there. The second round of shocking actually killed Deborah Dudley because you're running 240 into water, into a human being, and just holding it there until you feel like pulling it back up out. Which is pretty fucking terrible, to be completely honest. Now he's got something over Josephina's head because she's responsible for one of these girls being dead. Which means in his brain, that means he's got more control over her now. For the first time,
which is weird because these women at this point probably figured that they weren't coming out of there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. For the first time in 4 months, Josephina was removed from the basement. And she spent the night with Gary in his room. And
oh, yay. That sounds
what
fun.
A treat, right?
Yeah.
The pair would go to dinner at restaurants, and they even drove. She went with him to dispose of Deborah's body on March 23rd. The next day, she would help Gary abduct a woman named Agnes Adams. She then asked Gary, like, hey, since I helped you with this, in exchange, can I go see my kids? He agreed, and he pulled up in front of the house that she directed him to. She went in and told her... Oh, sorry. So she's headed in, and he said, I'm going to be waiting in the car. Which is where the high IQ doesn't make a lot of sense, because this is a pretty stupid move.
Yeah.
What Gary doesn't know is that Josephina doesn't have any kids. She had given him her boyfriend's address, and she stayed calm until she was out of sight. And then once she got to the stairs, she bolts for the apartment, tells this guy everything that's been going on, and that where she's been for almost 5 months. And they obviously call the police. And the cops show up, and Gary is still sitting in his car. When they checked on Josephina, they found scars on her ankles and wrists from where she had been chained up for months, and obviously not being allowed to bathe, so she's filthy. And I couldn't imagine going 5 months without a shower. I mean, no.
I couldn't imagine going 2 days without a shower.
No. I mean, I have days where I'll shower before I go to work, and then depending on what I've done, I will shower again when I get home. Josephina gave the police the address of 3520 North Marshall Street, where they rescued the other women from the basement. During questioning about everything, Gary never once mentioned that there was other women in his house before the police went back and checked it. The only reason that they found these other women was because of Josephina.
Right.
Excuse me. His trial started...
Ariel Castro.
Yep.
Ariel Castro should have studied this case a little bit.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad he didn't, but
Me
I'm
too.
just saying.
Because he had those girls in there for... It was years, wasn't it? Castro?
Yeah, several years.
Because I know that... what's his name? Joseph Fritzl had his daughter in the basement for
Fritzl. He was like 20-something years, yeah.
Like, the kids that they pulled out of there had never seen the fucking sun, and they were
know.
like 15, 16 years old. That's...
Horrible.
God. Jesus. So his trial started June 20th, 1988, and his lawyers from here would try to kind of prove that he was insane. So they call a psychiatrist and a psychologist to testify, and it blew up in their faces. All of the tests and questioning they went through with these experts came to one conclusion, that he was completely sane. Crazy? Yes. Legally crazy? No. Because there's a difference. 10 days later, he was found guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder, 5 counts of rape, 6 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse. Probably didn't have to put that one on there, but that's just like one of those qualifiers to add more time to the sentence.
Right. And you also want to have padding in case one of the charges gets overturned or something.
Yep, absolutely.
That's why they do the 5 consecutive life sentences.
Yep. Or
if one of them gets overturned, then there's still 4 more.
Yep. Or like a lot of the times, like if you watch like body cam footage of like the cops arresting somebody, they'll have like all these charges, and then they'll hit them with like resistance without violence, just to make sure that they've got something there extra, just in case something doesn't stick.
Right.
The judge drops the hammer on
There's
him.
a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Right? He drops the hammer on this guy, and he threw every fucking book he could find at him. Gary Heidnik is sentenced to death. His execution would be carried out July 6th, 1999. His final meal was 2 slices of cheese pizza and a half a pot of black coffee. Very exciting. After the lethal injection was carried out, he was buried on the prison grounds because nobody in his family would claim his body. His father, Michael, who hadn't seen him since the late 60s, said this to the press, quote, "I'm not interested. I don't care. It didn't bother me a bit." The fact that his son was executed, not what he did.
Right.
So now, are you ready for that tie-in I mentioned before?
Yeah.
So he was in prison in 1991, and a movie was released that he is part of the basis for the villain of.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, sir. Between him and Ed Gein, they combined the characters to make Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Yeah.
I need to watch that movie. I haven't seen that movie in years.
Decades. I haven't seen that in probably 20 years.
Yeah, at least. I mean, I wonder if it holds up. It probably does.
I mean, it's Anthony Hopkins. It's got to, right?
Yeah, you would think.
I mean, not many movies that he's in that I could be like, that was all right. They're really good usually. You know, there's not a lot of middle ground with his stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Gary Heidnik. Super fun, right?
Oh yeah. I was trying to. It's just the parallels between this and Ariel Castro is just crazy because it's. I mean, Ariel Castro had to have known about Gary Heidnik.
I would think so. At least a little bit, you know.
Yeah, because I mean, Cleveland's not too awful far from Philadelphia. I mean, it's a good long distance,
6
but
hours maybe.
Yeah, it's not like Miami to Seattle,
right?
But,
which I mean, not like a guy didn't make that trip, you know, across country to kill people,
right? But still, it's just like, but you would think that would have made the news cycle in Cleveland.
Oh, for sure.
When it happened.
So just for a laugh, it's a 6-hour and 47-minute drive from Cleveland to Philadelphia.
Yeah, not long at all.
Yeah, and he would have definitely heard about that because he was like mid 2000s, something like that, for Castro.
Yeah, something like that.
When he got caught.
Yeah, this is back in the 80s with Heidnik.
Yeah.
What a shitbag.
Yes.
What happened to the women after the fact? Do you know?
Don't really know. Probably, I would imagine there was some kind of protection put in place for him to be relocated or whatever. Let me get my notes pulled back up here so I can get them names again.
If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, please contact the National Sexual Assault. Please contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE, or go to rainwith2ns.org.
She apparently did write a book.
Josephina was 25 years old when he kidnapped her. Let's see. We don't need to read. Let's see. Askins attended the execution, as did Lindsay's family and Dudley's family.
Nice.
She says, I went to the execution, but it was too calm and serene for me. I'm thinking execution is something like, turn around and let me shoot you. Instead, they stuck a needle in his arm. He never looked at us. He never acknowledged us, never said he was sorry. He never did anything. He didn't even look in our direction. That's Lindsay's sister.
Jesus.
In an interview. She says, I watched him. She wasn't the only one that was dissatisfied with the execution. Askins told the producers of this documentary, I watched him die. It didn't bring no satisfaction.
Yeah, unfortunately, that seems to be a pretty common thing with people that watch the execution of someone that hurt them. They're just like, I didn't feel anything about it, and I wanted to.
Yeah, this is from Oxygen.com. But Monster Preacher is the name of the article.
And
But
if you want to go on Amazon, there's a book called Cellar Girl, which was written by Josefina Rivera, just for a laugh, because I can, and I think it would be a pretty decent thing to do here. I'm going to pull up on a different thing.
Riviera chose not to attend the execution. She said that it would have been better for him to sit in a 4x4 cell.
Absolutely. I mean, either that or we have to start executing people with like fucking like giant wooden mallets again.
Yeah.
Because that would be a very good way to do it, to get a little bit of justice at least, you know?
All of the survivors received a $30,000 settlement.
That's it?
Yeah, right?
Jesus. Here's a shot of that book for anybody that's curious. And it's written by her. It's pretty sizable, 320 pages. And it looks like you can get it on Kindle for $22. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the paperback. Kindle is $18.
Riviera says that she's proud of her strength and how far she's come in battling her trauma. She says, for a long time I was haunted by Heidnik, by the women who died next to me, but not any longer. I hope I can inspire other victims to feel positive about the future. Askins still lives in Philly, and she cleans houses for a living. She's close with her two sons, who are now adults, is on medication to deal with her anxiety and trauma. And she told the news outlet that she suffers from flashbacks and cannot enter any basement.
No, I couldn't say I blame her.
Me either.
Guy was a fucking monster, though.
Oh, this is Askins and Rivera had a meeting during this documentary, and Askins said, I ain't gonna lie, I did have some hate for you. I blamed you for a lot of the stuff that happened down there, is what Askins told Rivera. But after Rivera explained her position, Askins was able to understand her better. I think the plan you did was the best one. We're both here. Askins conceded to Rivera. The two parted on a hopeful note, believing the reunion was essential for both of them to heal.
Yeah.
And the documentary Monster Preacher is on Oxygen. Interesting.
Yeah. So now you know why we were cracking jokes at the beginning, because the end of it was pretty not good.
Yeah.
You know, kind of got to work into it gently to not just be like, hey, horror immediately.
It's like, this is the third, well, actually the fourth, because I have that interview. I'm not sure which is coming out first, this one or the interview. But basically, there's 4 episodes out since I brought the show back, and I have yet to host one.
You know, hey, shit happens, right?
Yeah, I swear, I got to give a shout out to Ashley on That's So Fucked Up, TSFU, because I swear, if you look at the things that have gone on in my life with my podcast and her life and her podcast, we're talking mirror images here. I mean, she's been at it longer than I have. I think she was like maybe 6 to 8 months in when I started, but a lot of things that have happened to her have also happened to me in one way or another. And
when did you start?
April of 2022.
Okay.
And I think she started in 2021, I believe. But yeah, we've been talking. I've been trying to get her to come on, but she hasn't agreed to yet. So I'm gonna keep trying to get her to come on. I really like her show, even though it's it's more geared toward the feminine persuasion and everything. But I like it. I like her delivery. I like the way I like the way that she does it. She also has a lot of episodes where she brings random people in to host the episode and all that stuff. It's just so weird how that happens. Like CKCB is That's So Fucked Up. Like I want to say older, uglier brother. Except my podcast isn't older. I'm older, but my podcast isn't older.
Dude, I just looked and I'm like, how have I not been doing this show for almost a year yet? Like, my 1 year mark comes up May 22nd for History Goon, and I'm like, I feel like I've been doing this for way longer than a year already. But I mean, I only took about 4 months off between the old show and this one, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would love to say this was fun, but you know,
We had fun in the beginning.
and we always have fun. It's just the topics suck sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I got a comment on Spotify from somebody giving me shit about laughing and drinking and having fun when you're when you're talking about this, and I'm like, go listen to the last podcast on the left, True Crime Kent, Necronomipod, the Brohio podcast. There's Time Suck. There's a lot of podcasts out there that do that, and those are the ones that are the true crime comedy. A lot of times you're getting the deep dives out of them.
Yep. And it's more
it shows
fun to
like,
listen to because it's not just like getting beat over the head.
On August
terrible
27th, 1963.
If I wanted that, I'd go watch fucking Investigation Discovery, you know?
Right, but the funny thing about this, and I didn't reply, and I'm not going to, but this was on the Ferry and Wardrip episode. Now, and she said that her aunt knew one of the victims and was there the night that the victim was killed by him.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, my aunt was there trying to convince her not to leave with that guy. It's not funny. And I'm thinking, the Ferry and Wardrip's brother came on to this show to basically tell the whole world how much of an asshole his brother was.
Yeah.
It's like, I just found it, I thought it was weird that she's talking about that episode when I actually have a personal connection to the serial killer on a later episode. He contacted me. I didn't contact him. He wanted to come on and tell the story, and he did, and it was a great freaking interview.
But no, you're not allowed to laugh because my aunt's friend's cousin's sister, like... So your connection's a little bit closer, you know. And,
I mean, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I never have and never will make fun of a victim.
Right.
You can.
No, we'll make fun of the idiot that does everything.
Right. We make fun of the bad guys.
Yep.
It's just, I mean, true crime comedy. It's just you got to have it because and honestly, I think it's the true crime comedy podcast that keep all the others afloat.
For sure, yeah, because there are the serious ones that are really good. And
I'm not knocking
show, Case Files.
I'm not knocking the
fantastic show, but man, it's just.
I'm not knocking the serious ones, but the serious. If it wasn't for it's the big dogs that make the most money, like your Morbid or Last Podcast on the Left or Time Suck or whatever. Those are the big dogs, and those draw in the most things, and people start, especially if that is the person's introduction into true crime, they're going to be like, oh, okay, I want to hear other takes on this. So then they find the more serious ones. Yep. And that's the biggest.
Another one I would throw in there just to give them some credit because they do the true crime comedy thing really well is Small Town Murder.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to them or not, but
I've heard them a couple times. They're not really my cup of tea, but the whole geography thing, where they get into the vital statistics of the city and everything and the population and all that stuff, and it's just like I can't get into that.
But then they do a show called Crime and Sports that you would love because it's just going through like athletes and stuff and just the terrible things that they've done.
I think I have heard some
that one's
of
good.
that.
Crime and Sports is one of my drop whatever I'm listening to because the new episode came out that so I can keep up with it. I love that show. But
All right, well,
Yeah.
tell everybody about History Goon if they don't know already.
Yeah, so my name is Kevin, and I host History Goon, which is a not so super serious history podcast. I do a lot of research, but again,
History
you have to have fun
comedy?
with it. Yeah.
Oh, you evil bastard, you.
I know.
How
it's
dare you
terrible.
laugh at the horrific things that have happened in the world?
And what kind of bastard am I? I will tell you about exactly what happened with history. I will dig around in every resource that I can find to make it look like like, hey, so maybe some of the things in history we've been lied to about, like a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff where
Yeah.
I've got an episode that I have been working on that people are going to go. I will get some pushback on it because there's some things in it that I'm like, well, this is part of what happened, and it's not like the agreed upon. This is what you have to be taught, but it's also part of it that you don't know anything about.
Right.
But actually, the weird one that I just got some flack for was the last episode that just released for me. My Nathan Bedford Forrest episode.
Yeah, I need to check that one out.
So, like, he's a Confederate general. I gave him credit for being a very, very competent general and a really good leader of men. But then I also tear him apart for being a complete piece of shit because, he's a
No
slave
spoilers.
trader.
No spoilers.
you know.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
And I had somebody comment like, well, of course you're biased. You're from the North. And I'm like, no, I'm biased because he's a scumbag. Like, listen to what I just spent the last hour and 45 minutes telling you about this guy's life and go,
Oh boy.
yeah, he's kind of a piece of shit.
We're in an era where if something offends somebody, it's not true.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
And I'm going to get some pushback on something in an episode that I just recently did about some stuff with that. But
Anyway, thanks a lot for listening, everybody. Thanks, History Goon, for helping me relaunch and everything. I mean, it was really
sure.
nice. I do have an episode written that I do. Well, it's a two-parter, and I do have that written and everything. But it's a little rough of everything that has gone on and everything. It's nice to be able to put content out there where I don't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate you helping me relaunch the show.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely, man.
So, but like, follow, subscribe, share, do all this stuff. Give 5-star ratings and good reviews and stuff because we need you all to counteract you. We need the much more people that like the show to drown out the voices of the people that don't like it for whatever reason. So, and
on Spotify, I'm currently sitting at 4.7 stars out of 22 reviews because I'm assuming I got a 4-star in there somewhere from somebody that's like, yeah, this is a great show, 4 stars. Damn it. You're so close. You were so close to doing that exactly perfectly. Like, if you like it, but.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening, and until next time, later.
Love you. Bye.